everyone. In today's video, we're going to get started with a series that we've been kind of doing on and off this summer, which is sort of using our automation and our BeamNG to put together some pretty wild cars. Now, one of the things that I've been talking about for a while here is the difference between my notable brand and my legend brand. And we've been doing all notable cars, and obviously they've been somewhat successful in some places, other places they've been absolute doo-doo, but that's been kind of the fun. So what I thought we'd finally do to kind of round off everything this summer is to do a legend. Now, of course, I sat down and said, all right, so the Legend is a great car company. You know, have you driven a Legend? Have you ridden a Legend? I mean, it basically writes itself, I'm just saying. But the challenge here, of course, is designing Legends. And this, to me, is my luxury supercar. And I said, what would I build with these kind of cars? And, of course, I sat there and went, yeah, we're going to make a GT cars because GT cars were the ones that made the most sense to me. Now, the interesting thing about GT cars is the concept of a GT car, Grand Touring, by the way, is you want something that's really high performance, really high luxury, two-seater plus maybe two in the back seat, and you're looking for something that's relatively, let's see, the best combination of not supercar bumpy with not overly luxury either. So in that thought, I thought we'd get started here in 1946 and work our way up. Now, the hardest challenge I have right away is going to be these two cars here. Obviously, we're going to be building coupes, and I can see that we have this lovely 1945 coupe, which is 2.6 meters, a little better for us. And of course, we have this little 2.3 kind of roadster sort of thing. I don't think I can fit people in the back of this, so I'm going to grab this as my base. Now, GT cars, they're definitely high-performance vehicles. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab that one right here. We'll go ahead and, since this will be a Legend, this will be a GT 46, I should say. We should be more specific. Now, these are the times when we can take advantage of fancy pants, different types of engineering. Now, my initial instinct, of course, is to run over here to using space frame. The downside to space frame, for those of you who are familiar with this, is this is generally something that's going to be very, very expensive to build. Again, it's a stiffness, and you can kind of go through all these different pieces. And of course, a ladder, which is going to be even lighter, is going to be even more complicated to build. You can see production units here. We can do fine with a space frame, not so well with a ladder. So we will stick with this one here. Chassis material, galvanized, going to be front longitudinal. We want the nicest front suspension we can buy. Obviously, we want something a little bit sporty, a little bit comfort. It's going to be the double wishbone. And then for the back, of course, again, we need a little sporty, a little bit of comfort, which is a double wishbone suspension in the back as well. So now for fun, what we can do is we can actually take the chassis and, whoa, wrong button, the body, and we can make the body disappear. And you can see kind of the way the space frame is shaped. But look at how much room I have to work with the engine here. And yes, this is a GT car. It's going to be nice. So let's go ahead and switch over to the next page, which is engine. We'll go ahead and create ourselves a new project. Obviously, we're going to be dealing with 16 or 12 cylinder engines here at least. We'll probably stick to 16s for most of the time because we can. Engine variant name is where it gets hard. So my initial instinct is to do 6. I'll probably do a 6 liter or something like that. Sorry for the glitch there. We'll do a 6 liter. We'll go ahead and keep it really interesting, but I have no idea what we're going to end up with. Okay, so we need a 16 cylinder, so that's going to be a V. Oh my God, look at the size of that thing. Cast iron. Bummer. Size, we don't want an 8-liter engine, actually. We want something a little bit smaller here. So what we're going to do is, of course, going to reduce the stroke here. As opposed, this is a vicious cycle for me. We'll increase the stroke and we'll decrease the bore here. It makes it a little bit smaller. So we said 7-liter engines, so 7,005 is about the closest we get. And that gets us a 78.7 by 90. Whoa, okay. Let's do some dual overhead cam. Of course, we're going to go with 4. Look at how complicated that valve train is. Oh, man, I really don't want to have to take care of this engine. We're going to use aluminum, of course, to keep a cost down. Swing it over here, cast iron, heavy duty, harmonic damper. We're kind of stuck with the heavy duty. You'll see what I mean. That's definitely going to kill our abilities later on. But again, with an engine this big and 1940s technology, I think we're going to be okay. Pretty sure P51s are powered by one of these. All right, so we're looking at 8.5 to 1, which is pretty much standard. Cam profile, I'm going to leave it at normal for now. I don't actually know what this is going to be. That's not even close, but good game, good game. Springs and lifters, I'm going to stiffen up just a tiny bit here. RPM limit, are you kidding me? You'd be lucky if you get 5,000 RPM with this thing. Let's go to the next page. No turbochargers, won't be. Of course, we want a 2-barrel. We want the nicest thing we can get. We want nice high performance. Yeah, we're running on super. There's no way we're not running on super on this thing. Look at this engine. This thing is glorious. I can't wait to drive this car, of course. Go to the next page. Yeah, it's going to be tubular. It's going to be dual. And it's probably going to be a little bit bigger. And we're going to get basically the best airflow that we can possibly get here, which is going to be baffled. All right, let's see what we get for round 1 here. All right, we're looking at 334 horsepower, 55. We're also seeing, let's take a look at our limits here. Our pistons cannot handle that. They're limited to 4,900. So I kind of had a feeling that would happen. There's a couple things we can do here, by the way. You can actually come up here and boost up the quality a little bit. Downside with this is that gets us a 5,000 RPM limit, which I could work with that. 5,000 is a little easier for me to work with. So I'm actually what's gonna be the minimum that gets me 5,000? That looks pretty good right there. Yeah, 5,000 is gonna be our absolute limit here. So let's go ahead and reduce our RPM limit here a little bit. That puts us to 5,000. It's still a little bit of stress. I don't like that. I'm gonna increase this a little bit. I want some reliability. No, looks good to me. Sweet. So now we have this 5,000 our RPM. So we can definitely afford to bring back the strings just a little bit here in order to get something that looks a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and take our cam profile. We're actually going to shift this a little bit. And I think I've overdone it because unfortunately we're killing everything here, but we don't really need a torque that's our horsepower that's off the line here. Of course, so what we could do is we could do one of these sort of silly things like that. But then you end up with a problem where our low end torque here is 236, even though our peak horsepower is about 350, which is honestly pretty good. Now let's come down here just a little bit. Now one of the things I will do here is I will actually soften the springs. Sometimes what you could do by, whoa, ew, too much. One of the things you can do here by softening the springs is you can basically get a little bit of low end torque, which isn't too bad. So I'm actually pretty happy with that so far. We got about around 350 horsepower. So next what we're going to do is we're going to race over here and adjust our carburetor size. So you're looking at about 91% seems to be kind of the sweet spot here. That's a little better. Intake manifold actually could be crunched up a little bit. We can actually make it a little bit tiny bit smaller here. Like I said, about 90, 92 is kind of the sweet spot. Headers are way too big. So let's go ahead over to our headers and shrink those down. And again, we're trying to get close. Like I said, well, 92, 93% seems to be the sweet spot. And exhaust, of course, needs to be bigger, which doesn't surprise me. So that gets us 365.6 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. On the low end of torque, we're looking at about 234. At the high end, what is it, about 400? Not bad. Not bad at all. This is pretty good. Now, if we do this, that doesn't really do much for us. Now, some of you at this point would say, why don't you just run back and crank up the quality sliders? Yeah, I could, but I kind of like it the way it is, so I'm not going to change it. Engine has unutilized octane. Oh, hello. I almost got away with not noticing that. That means our compression ratio is coming up. There we go. Say 365, too much. Again, too much. Right there, it's called right there. 366.0. That's not bad for 1946. This is a very big engine, but I like that already. All right, let's go ahead and give it a test and see what it's like. Wow. Oh yeah. That's amazing. That's quite an engine. And I love this super tote here. Too bad we don't have like 6 speeds or anything like that. All right, we are making a GT car, so I'm going to stick with the 1948 coupe here, and that's going to look like that, which is fine. Tempting to raise the body quality up a little tiny bit here, and it's not going to make that much of a difference, but it's just a quality thing. All right, color. There's only one color this car can come in, and that's black. Any other color would be just silly. Really debating on the flake here. Kind of don't want the flake, but if you take the flake away, you get something that looks a little bit like this, which is awesome, and I'm keeping it. All right, fixtures. So let's see here. So this is the Legend brand. These are not my basic cars here. So we should do the nicest thing we can possibly afford to put on here. So if I grab this one, I got kind of this sort of a thing, and I'm just going to stick that in there like that. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, man, I love this thing already. Let's go ahead and get some tail light going on. It can't be ugly now. It's got to be nice. This is an interesting problem. I usually don't have that. This is kind of interesting, especially if they're like, let's see, you could do something like that. That looks hideous. Ew. All right, fine. We'll go with something circular because, it's the best we got at that time. Let's try right there. Do they have one that's not so bulgy outy? No, not at all. So you end up with something that looks like, that's just gross. Bummer. Keep looking. Well, this is an interesting fixture family. I don't know what this thing's going to look like. Let's try that. Oh, okay. I'll stick with that. I like that. That's a nice touch. Let's go to our indicators here. This thing's just going to flash. I don't think it's going to have like a real indicator here. If we actually stuck an indicator under here, it would be like something like that, maybe. And I don't hate it. It's good enough. Again, this is an expensive car, and it's going to be impossible to drive this thing. Going to be fun. All right, so now we need, of course, a grill. And if we're going to use a grill on this, it's going to look pretty darn intimidating. So I need something like this, but with like serious like teeth kind of going across. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. That thing is happy. Reminds me of the character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, to be honest. All right, hood scoop, of course, especially for this thing. Oh, that is menacing. Oh man, I love it. Looks like something nasty. We'll toss in a sunroof because again, we're going for some quality here. We're making a GT car. So GT, big point of GT cars is they have to be drivable. Sports cars aren't always drivable. This one shall. Aerodynamics, I could put aerodynamics on it, but I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference. We could put a spoiler on it, actually. I think the spoiler is going to look so hideous. I cancel the idea, though. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. How's that going to go? I hate it, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to kind of have to keep it. I got to not accidentally get it in the trunk here. That's one of my classic mistakes here. All right, that's good enough. I like that. At least we can get some downforce on this thing. 3D, we're not going to do an interior because the interiors are going to take forever. Go ahead and grab this one real quickly here, and I'll toss this right in the back. Where do I want to put that? Let's put it right there for now. Door handle, unfortunately, they're pretty chunky of this era, so we're going to go with the chunky of this era door handle. And we're going to shrink them just a tiny bit there. All right, I like that. Grab ourselves some mirrors. Oh man, I want something like amazing looking. But the problem is, like, if I want to do that, you'd have to do something like this. And as you can see, that's going to require a lot of finagling in order to get it to look somewhat right here. So I guess I'm going to have to go with this one and put it right there and see if it looks all right. I like it. Looks kind of like it's driving down the street with this, doors open there, but we'll make it work kind of a thing. Body molding, not going to mess with it. Body molding, body molding. All right, let's see here. We got ourselves our little aerial antenna. Of course, we'll be sticking on the back like this, as if this thing would have a radio. I'm just saying. It just kills it, though. We're going to assume it has some new high technology in here that just can pick up radio waves automatically. So this one, of course, we're going to be grabbing ourselves one of our little handy-dandy license plates. This is pretty darn American of an automobile, so I'm definitely going to take advantage of that fact here. Let's grab this guy right here. Let's see if there's a different mode for this. That's a little better. And we'll change the plate to, do we have like a Michigan or something like that? We have NSW. We could do that. That could be kind of fun. Pure Michigan. FMT 1903. I like that. All right, look at this thing. This thing's incredible. Now, if you look at this is really cool. Oh, the engine's not visible yet. I got to go to the transmission. Sigh. Bumper bar. Actually, we're going to need one of these things because chances are I'm going to hit everything when I go to test drive this. This might be one of those few vehicles that I'm not able to get very far with before I absolutely annihilate it. That's just that anybody who's driven enough with me knows exactly what I mean by that. All right, we got a bumper. It's a little bit tiny, though. Something a little bit bigger here. All right, I kind of like that. I wish it was just lower because unfortunately it kind of gets in the way of my little grill here, but that's perfectly fine. I could put a little thing on the nose, too, but that's cool. All right, door handle, door mirror, looks good, looks good. Now, decal, oh, yeah, you're driving a Legend today, so I'm going to make sure the Legend is large and it's in your way. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That way people know you're driving a Legend. Fantastic. All right, let's get ourselves some lettering. We need to go do something like this. We need a little bit of lettering here. Grab some here, come down here, and we'll say GT46. Oh, 47. Apparently this is next year's model already. That looks good to me. We're just going to move it around over a little bit. Let's see, can I get this text? Yeah, obviously I can shrink the text down a little bit. Apparently I have like 9 copies of this text, but GT4. Oh, there's another copy. There we go. GT46. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this thing. I'm not a fan of how much this sticks out, by the way. As a matter of fact, can I shrink it this way a little bit? Okay, I have pushed some magic button, and it's like doing this weird duplicate-y thing, but that's all right. All right, there is our... That thing's incredible. Let me see. I just got 2 of these now. Delete this one. And there we are. We have our 1946 GT. That's amazing. I'm so impressed with this thing. All right, it's going to handle terribly, but you know how these things go. Let's go ahead and get some pipes in this thing. It's going to need a pair of them, so go ahead and mirror that like that so we can grab them. Obviously, nothing's going to work on this until we actually hook up the rest of it, but we'll do that in a second. We're not going to put a trailer hitch or anything silly like that. I'm not bothering with winch wipers. Too much work. Drivetrain. We are a rear-wheel drive car, of course. Manual, 4-speed. And, oh my gosh, just look at this thing. We're so doomed. We're going to die a terrible, crashy death in this thing. It's going to be embarrassing. All right, let's see. 166 horsepower, 166 miles an hour sounds pretty good. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick that 167. This is so dangerous, but we'll use the auto open differential in this, which is suicide. All right, we need sports compound tires, and we need the biggest ones they can possibly give us here. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of tempted to make these even bigger because look at how narrow they are, relatively speaking. Look at the engine on this thing. Isn't that incredible? All right, let's go ahead. I'm excited. Drum brakes. That's not going to be good enough. I'm going to need really, really, really good drum brakes. Like really, really, you'll see what I mean. All right, that looks good. That looks good. That's the best I can do so far. All right, under tray, this is nothing for my downforce here. Does it improve? Actually, it improves reliability. I'll take it. Front wing angle, I'm not going to mess with this. Brake airflow, it's not going to matter, folks. As much airflow as I put in here, it's just not going to change it. All right, convertible, nope. Are you kidding? We are handmade. No, these are luxury, you're right. And we'll have a nice premium AM radio. Luxury AM radio, why not? All right, pick the next one. We want rack and pinion, of course. We want some nice 1940s safety technology. And of course, we can fix all that stuff. We're going to get a lot of problems here. So I'll pin that. I will pin that because those are the two that we're looking at here. And these kind of problems are the kind of problems you're always going to face no matter what you do. So it's just enjoy the pleasure here. So the first problem it says we have, of course, is going to be our brakes. Remember a minute ago I said our brakes are not going to work well. And I was like saying, yeah, we're going to have some real problem with this. I wasn't kidding. You need some really, really, really good brakes on this thing. So 80% in the rear is pretty good. I don't think this is going to be enough to get me up to, oh, maybe it is. That's a major, major. Notice, by the way, like no downforce in this thing at all. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's go and bring that down a tiny bit. And then we get something that looks like that, which is fair. All right, next problem. Car's weight is making the steering heavy. Try the other kind of steering. Okay, I can do that. It's easy. Let's see here. Steering. Ugh, yuck. All right. Dampers. Oh my gosh, there's just so many things I have to fix on this thing. All right, so let's keep going. We're not done yet. We're going to go ahead and improve the quality here, which is just going to massively improve our airflow a little bit. Now, if we increase the wing angle, does this do anything for us? Yeah, we'll do one of these things. Yeah, it's going to be basically none. I want some downforce on this thing. There's no front wing on this thing, I didn't think. Yeah, I thought so. But again, that's not too bad. All right, brake airflow, increase the quality a little bit. Just desperately trying to improve the brakes so that we have some success with this thing. So let's actually go with better quality brakes here. Again, this is where all your expense comes from because you're desperately trying to get brakes that can actually stop this thing without fading themselves into oblivion. But again, welcome to 1940s and 50s sports cars. This is going to be a problem for us pretty much continuously. All right, that's pretty good. All right, let's move on. Next problem I think we're going to have here is our dampers are a little on the ouchy side. So let's go over here. We'll set normal. I'll make that a little bit more comfortable. Wheel spin issues, wheel spin, front tires, clearance. Okay, so some things we need to fix here. The brakes are still bad, and that does not surprise me at all. This is our pin demographic. What are we getting here? Price perception. Our car's too cheap. We have to actually make our car more expensive. Interesting problem to have. All right, we're going to keep going to the brakes then. The brakes kind of suck right now, so let's make the brakes a lot nicer and see if that fixes it a little bit. Brakes fade. Let's go up to this mount. Or quality settings are too high. Let's see here. I'll play the game. Okay. What point is it too high? Okay, that's too high. So now we need to bring down the force again. Again, doing everything we can to try to keep this thing safe to drive because it's incredible. But again, these are the kind of problems you're always going to face with the early days. Later days, you have things like active cooling and stuff like that you can engage. We still have brake fade. So how do we fix brake fade? You're going to go ahead and come over here and you're going to crank this, which is going to make the car a lot less drivable, by the way. That's one of the things you have to remember. Still suffering from brake fade. We're going to go up to 80 and see if that improves the brake fade a little bit. Still suffering from brake fade. That made like no difference. It's like even if I go completely sports pad on this, that still does not solve much of your brake fade here. Brake fade. Brake fade. Oh my gosh. It's 100%. Can I get 99 at least? 99. 99. Okay, 98. And 98. Oof. Oh my gosh. Because then you have to come back here and you have to reduce the force on everything again. And again, one of the things we could do here is we could improve the quality here, but you could see it was already getting grumpy about the quality. One of the things you have to watch out for is when you start using sports brakes, it kills the drivability of the car. It absolutely devastates it. And you'll see on our little report at the end here how bad we're about to get devastated. All right, wheel spin. So we can't do much about wheel spin back in these times. So the first thing we're going to have to do here is actually play with the tires. Our tires right now are kind of small. So what we can do here is we can crank these up quite a bit, which will give us a little bit wider tire, which is going to probably eliminate the rear tires are a little narrow. This doesn't surprise me. And a lot of that actually has to do with our weight balance, if you want to think about it. Right now you can see we have way too much weight on the nose. So let's do a little bit of engineering to bring that weight back. And what that will do for us is that'll shift the weight so that it's a little more balanced, which is actually going to make for a better driving car. Downside to that, of course, is if you go back here, watch what happens to our brake force. I told you we are going to have some issues here. Again, welcome to the game. This is how we play. All right, so I can't change the size of that, but we can change this. All right, that looks pretty good there. I like that. That's actually pretty good. That's not award-winning by any means, but it's going to be good enough. All right, what else are you complaining about? The rear tires are narrow. A wheel spin. Clearance. I don't care about clearance. Brake fade. Quality settings are expensive. That's fine. I'm still having brake fade? Holy smokes. They don't get bigger. Okay, so if we want bigger brakes, the easiest way to do this is to actually come here to rims and increase the size of your rims. If you increase the size of the rims, you get bigger brakes. So that's one of the common ways to kind of solve the problem there. The big problem we have here now is, of course, if you look, you can see that this got very, very serious. Of course, if we drop the quality a little bit, which is going to get rid of that error, you're going to see, it didn't do much to us, actually. It didn't do much to us. So let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Again, big brakes are the key here. That's what's going to save you the frustration. All right there looks good. Let's bring this down as well. Or these are drum brakes. This will be a lot easier to use with disc brakes. All right, wheel spin, front tires, front tires, front tires, clearance, clearance, front tires. Okay, there's not much we can do about the width. Unfortunately, we're cross-ply tires, so it's going to have a big impact on this. So it's not something we can necessarily change. If we come over here and increase our diameter a little bit, that's not going to give us a wider tire or anything like that. So unfortunately for us, this is as big as we're going to get it at this time. So we're stuck. Not much we can do about that. Notice some of our penalties have gone down here, except we're still a little expensive. And of course, we're getting yelled out major for low comfort. Where's our comfort going? Yeah, you knew it, the sports brakes. So unfortunately, we're getting killed for that. So that's part of the problem. A lot of times what you can do to fix that is you can come over here and you can boost the comfort this way. And the easiest way to do that, of course, is it's going to give you something a little bit better. I can go up here, I can jack this up to 10 or something like that, which is going to make it a little bit better. But it's also going to, of course, cause our quality settings to increase the cost of everything. Let's see here. How high can we get this before it gets tricky? Quality settings. Quality settings, I think 5 is usually the cap on quality. So unfortunately, this is killing us here. So we're still very, very desirable, but our comfort, it's the stupid brakes. The brakes are literally our end here, which is, it's just, that's how the game is played. So you just have to kind of deal with it. All right, our next problem we have to solve, of course, is going to be stuff over here. So top speed is now 176. So what we can do is we can actually gear it for 200. And what that will do is that'll kind of fix the speeding. So you have a wheel spin issue here. If we actually come over here to power versus traction, see that 10.7. If I take this and let's say kick this up to 60, it doesn't necessarily fix the problem. If I bring this down to, let's say, 35, which is really tall gearing, like excessively tall gearing, you can see all that does for us is that's going to reduce our wheel spin slightly. So the easiest way to deal with wheel spin, of course, is with your wheels. If you assume you haven't put all your quality points into wheels yet. But you can see if I go here, that makes a huge difference for us. And now we're actually able to have a vehicle that's a little bit safer. So this is, we've had to make some compromises here. There's nothing we can do here about the tires. It's just not the type of tires we have. And if I come over here and make them a little tiny bit bigger, that's going to solve some of it. But of course, if we come back over here, see how it's all like a vicious cycle? Like I said, this is what makes this game so much fun. So of course, we have to increase the brake force again, which is going to increase the brake fade again, and it becomes another vicious cycle. Brakes have slight fade. There's literally nothing more I can do to the brakes, Chief. Like, I can't improve my aerodynamics anymore. I can't make the brakes any bigger. Like, I can't improve any of these things. I can go like this a couple points. But, of course, the moment I do that, it's going to yell at you because now you're putting all your points into something else. You can see quality. And it hasn't solved the brake fade problem. Again, welcome to the game. So that's kind of what we're going to have to deal with. It's just going to be the nature of this beast, and there's not much we can do about it. If anything, if we wanted to, we could actually bring this pad down a little bit, trying to sort of get that brake fade out, but it's just not going to make a difference. There's very, very little we can do in this generation. It'll get better with time. All right, let's head over to testing real quick. We're going to take it to the test track. We're going to crank this up real nice, and we're going to let it do its thing. Not at automation, though. We're going to go to the airfield. Actually, what we should do is we should do automation and compare how we do versus how this does. $243. I don't think I'm going to get that. I think I'll be lucky if I get under 5. All right, we've done the best we could on this car. Like I said, we put things in our place. We were hoping for something a little nicer. We got killed on the brakes. The brakes are going to be our end for the next 20 years, as you're going to see a little later on. But we still ended up with a kind of nice car, and I think it'll be kind of fun to drive. And like I said, if you just take a look at this thing when we bring it over here, that's pretty awesome looking. So let's go ahead and export this over to BeamNG and see how it goes. Oh man, look at that thing. That's so impressive. Oh, this is such a cool car. And look at just belching gray. You can definitely tell this is an older vehicle. Let's give a couple quick victory revs here. That sounds a little weird, but that's all right. All right, let's get inside. Here we go. Punch it. Oh, those brakes are terrible. Oh, it's so slidey. Oh my gosh, this thing is, it's terrible already. This thing is gonna light up the back end so hard in this corner. Oh my gosh, this is, I know this is supposed to be a GT car, but this feels more like a 60s American muscle car. Oh, it sounds amazing though. Oh yeah, look at those brakes. There it is. Who would design brakes like this? They're terrible. Just kind of funny. Oh my gosh. Watch this, watch this. See that? See that how it just goes? Yeah, that's exactly what I expected. All right, let's get back into first. Oh my god, the gearing is so tall. This thing is so... Not loving this thing. Not loving this thing. You know, I enjoy cars of this era, but this is kind of hard to drive. Let's see how fast we can get up to. It is fast. I'll give you that. We're gonna have to stand on the brakes so hard. Come on. Come on. No! I'm trying so hard not to lose control of this. And brakes. I don't know why, but that puts the wrong kind of smile on my face. Oh my gosh. Oh, this thing feels just like the generation that it came from. Oh man, I'm pretty sure I drove a few of these in the game GT Legends. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, okay then. Oh man, this would even be tough at the steering wheel, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, it's so hard to get around a corner with this thing. You have no idea. Oh. Oh, this is gonna spin me out. Always in the corner before the end. Easy, easy, we're fine. There we go. Oh my gosh, this thing is ridiculous. This is not a GT car. This is a wannabe muscle car. It's very stiff. The brakes are terrible. The back end wants to go everywhere. The engine is pretty good. I'll give you that. Sounds pretty amazing. Oh my gosh, it's just so hard to control this thing. Oh man. Yeah, so this is the first generation. I'd say positive qualities on this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of the nicer looking cars we're ever going to make for this series. But it's just not a good vehicle. It's heavy. It's all over the place. Yeah, the engine's wonderful, but like, the gearing is just garbage. It wants to go. I mean, it reminds me of, I'm not gonna lie, like a Jaguar E-Type. It's kind of got that feel, but it's overpowered. Like, it's way too heavy and it's way too overpowered compared to like a Jaguar E-Type kind of a thing like that. So I think it'll be interesting when we finally get to the 60s, how this is gonna evolve. Oh my gosh. It's like, well, you can control it at least. Like, you're not gonna die much. But yeah, good start. Good start. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So as far as I'm concerned right now, probably gonna be one of my last place cars, except for aesthetics, because this thing is just awesome. Other than that, enjoy.